Hey guys, today we're gonna be rating what, in my opinion, from what I've seen on Roblox, is the best 7 games on all of Roblox. This is being judged by how fun, replayable, and if it's not scummy or something, with just gambling and that stuff, which would be the only way to improve. The first game here is called Tower Defense Simulator. I'm not gonna go on like, oh, it's such a underrated game, because it does get like 15,000 players. But basically, in some parts of it is just a normal tower defense game. Although it's extremely high quality, no gambling needed. Like that's Roblox exclusive. To get goods, is sure there's skin crates, but other than gold skins, which aren't Robux crates by the way, they're like the in-game currency coins. No skins give you bonuses, meaning the only like Robux skins are just cosmetic. That's it. And then for like there's like a couple game passes, but they don't give you insane buffs to where you have to have them if you want to be good at the game. And then like some people might want VIP just because then you can choose like a certain map to be in the vote, but you don't actually need that if you just go for the elevators, and you can basically just choose like that. Or just rely on someone else having it in matchmaking, which a lot of people do at VIP. And then, of course, there's like the event towers that can cost Robux, but that's just because their event already ended. So, I mean, like, what are they supposed to do? Just bring back the entire event? I mean, they did do that with the Revenge event, but like, that's just because they wanted to give us something while we waited for the hardcore rework, which is actually coming out on June 5th, aka the day of recording this. Although it's not out yet. I also feel like this game deserves to be up here, just because this one might be a bit of a bias, but also is a great representation for tower defense games, since you might look at a tower defense game and be like, I'm not going to play that, because when you look at it, it's something like a freaking toilet tower defense, like, and then you judge the entire, like, thing off of that one game, but in reality, that's not the way to do it until you play TDS at least. Like, if you don't like tower defense in general, then I'm not going to tell you have to like it, but like, until you play a higher quality one, you shouldn't just judge them all. If you want, you can, but in my personal experience, it's not worth judging off of a first experience. This doesn't really matter for the gameplay, but something I like that they did that is that almost, I believe, or maybe every DJ skin has its own different music track, which is a really nice addition. And I'm pretty sure most modes change like their the song every 5 or 10 waves. And by the way, all the songs are made by TDS, I believe. So that's actually quite hard for them, I bet. But as you can see now, I'm on the Fallen King for this mode. So yeah, the Fallen King is the final boss, by the way. A way you can tell what wave you're on is it will say wave and then something out of something, since they'll all have 40 waves. But that's my personal opinion on why Tower Defense Simulator should be here. And also, say if you're on like a really old like phone or something that can't take all these explosions and such, in the settings there's a way to turn off all of those and make it so it doesn't look as good, but you can still play it without having all that. next game that is going to be on here is gonna be okay, that was cringe, sorry guys. It's gonna be Bee Swarm Simulator. You might have noticed there's been a lot of simulator things on this list, but this one's just really good, even though the creator of it actually hasn't been online for, like, I think, well, not making it for a while, although that could have changed, but after, like, I think it was 5 years of him, like, updating it, he got bored, so he just stopped, bored of the same game, so he just stopped updating it. But it still somehow is getting like 40k players, I think, right now. I could be wrong on that though. The developer was on it. I never talked about the TDS developers, but that's fine. And this one might be a small biased just because this was my childhood, even though I'm still a child, but I mean, I'm not an adult yet, so technically I'm still in my childhood, but I don't care. This was my childhood. I just stand here and make things using pollen and honey and buy new bees. Yeah, that sounds like a simulator game. And if you play it, it's genuinely fun though. At least for me it was. And a lot of other people it is. I don't find as much joy in it anymore, but I'm glad that back when I was like 5 years old, I was able to have fun on this game. But I don't really have much to speak on this game, but it's also really nice for when it was made, since it was made in during March in 2018, and I just did some extra research, and it turns out that Anna actually like just updated the game because he updated it in early June of 2026. I'm saying that because I can't just say June whatever, because that means if someone watches this in 2027 or something, and I say June something, and it's past June, they'll be like, oh, okay. And won't know that's not actually June of that year, so. But, yeah, that's all I have to really cover on Bee Swarm Simulator, other than the boss fights, which are also quite fun. There's also, like, there is, like, I believe, some Roblox gambling, although it's not necessary. Like, I don't think I spent Robux to gamble on this game at all when I was 5 years old. By the way, I grinded this game for, I think it was, like, 2 years, so it was my early childhood. Maybe 3, actually. Well, actually, I started in 2021, so that means I wasn't actually 5 years old at the time, but definitely between like 6 to 8, this was my life. Other than school, of course, but yeah. Now you may be wondering, hey, what's the next game it's gonna be? Well, it's gonna be, wait, what was it gonna be again, right? It's gonna be Bake or Die, which you've probably never heard of it, but it's recently grown a lot of popularity. I've been playing it for a long time now. Originally, I discovered it with a friend, and there's daily quests to earn gold nuggets, and I'll touch on the classes in a bit. By a bit, I mean right. I never got to finish what I was saying, but I said right now, you could probably tell. So basically what different classes do, like Gunslinger and Gladiator, what the ones I have. One's a tank, one's good with guns. There's Bombastica, which I already went on, and Necromancer. Necromancer is probably an obvious statement, but Bombastica just shoots explosive pies. Baker is a good starting one. It increases the value of pies. I shouldn't have clicked on one of them so fast. Exterminator's a new class I haven't seen yet, but it doesn't seem too good, but it seems like it's a viable option. There's Ninja, great for early game. Doctor, which is okay, and then yeah. And here's the gameplay of the game. Basically, your goal is to take those zombies that you've killed, or in the tutorial that are just laying on the ground and are already dead. Put them in this grinder. You take their ingredients that they drop, which if they have a hat of like a fruit or something, that means they'll drop that fruit instead of like the zombie meat. You then have to bake the pie, pick it up, put it on the shelf for a citizen to buy. My class gives me a revolver at the start of the game, but if you have no class, then you're not going to get anything at the start of the game until you pick something up. Sometimes in that house I was just in, you get a chest for free, which can give you a gun, but it's not guaranteed to give a gun. If you open refrigerators, it can give bandages and food and that stuff. It's telling me to go buy a rolling pin at the gunsmith, but if I'm being honest, I'm just going to skip that part of the tutorial, because why would I do that? Once the tutorial's done, I'm just going to speed up the gameplay a bit, since I also cut out a lot of it after I'm done the tutorial. But yeah. There's also boss fights, which I'll touch on later. And then every night you're being raided by zombies, each night getting progressively harder. Although if you're in somewhere like the sewers at the time, which is where another boss is found, I'm not going to say which since I don't want to spoil it for you, although it's going to be in this recording, so, but yeah, I lost my train of thought. So yeah, that's the tutorial done, so I'm going to speed this up now. I had to put it at 5 times speed because, otherwise it would have been taking a long time. As you can see here, I'm just raiding a house for its loot. I opened a chest, and that's all it gave. Again, SMG from that chest, a huge improvement. And then a DMR, the better gun than SMG, one better. So then I'm basically just stacked. So now I just wait for the Blood Moon night to happen, which is a normal night, although it's usually harder than the next night and maybe even the night after that. Although eventually the nights will get harder than the previous Blood Night. And Blood Nights happen every 5 days. So 5, 10, 15, 20, that stuff. Here we have a lot of different ingredients for baking these pies. If you're wondering why, if you saw that I only put 3 ingredients for one, I usually like to take it from other stacks just in case, unless if those ingredients are like really good, because I'm worried that I might take something away from a really good ingredient that I can't even tell that I have until it's too late. So yeah. As you can tell, I just killed the chicken boss. That was a boss, yes. I killed it fast because you're not supposed to have this gun yet, but I got it from a chest and got lucky. And also, it's at 5 times speed. So, I mean, what were you expecting? Here's another boss. Bosses don't usually spawn this fast, but on the first, but if you kill the chicken boss on the first day, another boss spawns the next day. By the way, bosses give their own special rewards instead of the usual stuff. Like the chicken boss gives chicken, eggs, and radioactive eggs, which radioactive eggs can easily make a pie go to like $1,200 for one pie. So here I buy a butcher knife just to finish one of my daily quests to get some gold nuggets, since I'm actually really close to getting Necromancer, my favorite class. I get that, I open the sewers, so after night 7's done, I can just go in the sewers and fight, and hopefully fight the next boss. And although I haven't really been covering why this is a good game, just been covering how to play it, So I'm not really sure who created it, but I can do the research later. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. But it's whoever made it. It's pretty well made. Now some people might say, "Oh, it's a ripoff of things like 99 Nights," and I'm just like, I mean, it's harder than 99 Nights in my opinion. And then also, sure, it has a day system that you have to survive with guns, but that doesn't make it exactly like 99 Nights. Can we all just agree on that, please? I know that gate went up really fast on your screen, but if you actually open one of the gates with the fuses, it goes slow as hell. And this is King Biggie Cheese, the Rat King, most people call him. But then also, some people might find it funny, because a lot of the animations and also the characters might look goofy to some people. Which I can see why they just have a laugh about it, since it is kind of funny. Although, not like making fun of the game, I mean in like a way that, like, you know. There's also perks that you can get, which just give you buffs. I just got another upgrade in my weapon, so now I'm just continuing to raid this place. I end up stopping around day 10 because I didn't want to make this segment too long of the video. So, yeah, soon it's just gonna end first part, but another reason why it deserves to be up here, there's literally no gambling until maybe like in 2027. I don't even know if they'll ever add it, but so far there's literally no gambling in the entire game. I think this is a good time to say it, but the order of these games don't really matter. It's up to you what you think is the best out of them. But the next game is Movie Maker 4. Now you might be saying there might be ones before it, which I'm not sure, but usually those are using like different things than this. Here I have all the animations I've made. Only only 3 of them are finished. Most of them aren't finished. We can check out some other people's animations before we check out mine. Theirs are way better than mine, by the way. Which, this game just really allows you to be creative, and it's good for kids who want to like make games because they can learn how to animate a bit. Unless you just want to make some random brain rot game, then yeah. But other than that, this game is actually a quite good game to learn. Here's my first animation. It's not good at all, but hey, it's my first animation. I'm just showing all my animations just because I want you to see what a noob creator can do in this game. Like someone who's literally worse than probably anyone you can think of, other than unless you're under like 8 years old. And this one was supposed to be intimidating at the end here, but really isn't. So, at least not in my opinion. And the last one is my sister and I fight to the death for absolutely no reason. Here's where I finally learned how to use music while animating. Like you can add music to the animation for everyone to hear. Probably not the best choice of music for me, but I don't really care. So yeah. So here's here's the next game. But so I don't really like this game anymore, but I have to put it on just because of how high quality it is, and to let people know just because of its goofy characters doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's Dandy's World. So most people don't ever play it just because they're like, oh, it's so goofy and it's made for a 5-year-old. It's a bit, like, it's simple, but not so simple that, like, a a 4-year-old could play it without any problems. There's different roles like extracting the machines, which is what I'm doing here to show you what most people do. But the person who's always being chased by those things called twisteds is someone called a distractor. His job is just to distract the twisted, so us extractors can just be happy and be alive and do our machines so we can finish the floors. When all a certain amount of machines are completed, since every floor you go up, and depending on how many people you have, that amount will go up. Although if you have like 8 people, but then all of a sudden you get 2 people, the next floor is like gonna have less machines. So that's a nice thing they added. But another reason why this one's here is since the animations are actually quite good, along with the goofy art style, it's actually quite well made. The idea is like, I want to say pretty original. I'm sure there's been things before it, although there have been copy games like Dolly's Factory and that stuff, and Toon's Universe, which claim to be better, but they aren't. I've personally played them. I'm sure some people prefer them, but I've played them. I don't find them better. And also, when you're doing machine, there's things called skill tracks. Basically, you just have to hit like the gray or orange parts of it to keep extracting the machine or get buff. Although if you hit the dark gray part, then it stops and alerts the twisteds, which is why the distractors are good. By the way, there's also like solo runs and that stuff to make it so you don't have a distractor, but you also just have to do it all solo. But another thing why I added this game instead of a different game, there's literally there's no Robux things for anything except for cosmetics, and then Iker, which Iker isn't even that good if I'm being honest. No, it's not that it's not good. I mean, it's like not good for you shouldn't buy it using Robux, because Iker is really easy to get, especially if you're an extractor, because every machine you do, you get 5 Iker, so. And every time you use an ability per floor, you get 5 Iker as well. So that's easy. And there's like, depending on how many twisteds you have, in the beginning you only have 2 twisteds, so only 4 capsules, research capsules. They give you research on twisteds, which can give you trinkets, which give you buffs. Each trinket gives a different buff. But, what was I saying again? I'm just gonna go ramble on something else now since I forgot what I was saying there. Actually, I could just look what I said in the recording, but here's a blackout. Basically what blackouts are is you can't see very well, though it's really bright in my area because I have a character who's a nightlight. Basically what that means is they glow much more in the dark. Although my character's a jack-o'-lantern, why isn't he a nightlight? I get hit because I didn't see it twisted there. But another reason why this is here, there's no gambling for Robux, not even gambling for the in-game currency, with the in-game currency. It used to be like that for skins, but they luckily got rid of that. And then also, literally the only Robux things except for Iker, just cosmetic. You don't actually need them to 100% the game, because those stuff don't count for 100%ing. The only reason you buy it is because you like the skins. This next game you might have seen in the past. You probably have. Like, you definitely have. The next game is Natural Disaster Survival. A very popular game. I never got to finish the game because I cut off the recording too soon, but I did not say gay, but I'm also an ally of the LGBTQ+, so don't even talk about it. if you're just gonna just be annoying to LGBTQ plus, please don't. They're humans too. So, and then there's also, this game's here for similar reasons as the other games. No scummy Roblox gambling, where you only have like a 1% chance to win what you actually want. There's only 2 game passes, but you don't need them to win. This game barely gets any updates. Like, last one I can recall, I'm sure there could have been one, but after this, but that's what I recall is back in 2024 or 2025 when they added the avalanche disaster, which is really fun when they add a new disaster because it just gives more things that can happen in the game. Although one reason why this game's really fun is just because there's no currency that you have to grind for, and also other glitches can make it really funny sometimes how people die or what happens to people. In certain maps, which I actually play this map in this recording, there's like a rocket that you can ride on. Although the last game isn't going to be popular already like all the other games, by the way, just so you know. There's not much I have to say on this game. Although Stickmaster Luke, the developer of this game, I believe, actually, I don't know for sure, so I'm not going to say that. I believe at 14 years old, or 18, not sure which, I believe 14 now, he got hired for Roblox because of, like, how good his game was and how popular it was. And as you can see here, I believe we have a hacker in the server. Some of you are probably saying, no, really, if you're around my age. But, yeah, he just took that train cart away. Rest in peace, that train cart. Back to the topic, though. The only reason you actually play this game is for fun, which is why it's also up here. It's also a pretty, like, retro-looking game, because it is retro. It came out, like, I think, wasn't it 2012 when this came out? One sec, I just need to do my fact-checking. Why are all these games created in March? But it was made in March 2008. Wait, was that right? Do I have bad memory? I feel like I got it. Nope, it was March 2008. Why are they all made in March? That's just confusing. But, not confusing, but yeah. Not much else to touch on this game. By the way, if you want an actual review with better editing, go check out someone who did better than me. Since I'm sure there's other people who've done this, like, exact thing, saying the best games on Roblox. But, this is gonna be it for natural disaster survival. Although it's also, actually no, yeah, that's it for this game. See you on the next game. So you might remember from my, during natural disaster survival, I said the next one isn't going to be popular like the rest. So any guesses on what it is? Because it only gets around 100 active players. Well, the answer is Card Chaos. It's a really, well-made game. It's a fun little shooting game that you can play. Hopefully my screen's not too blurry for people. But, yeah, it's not. You have to choose different cards. And if you've ever played a game called Overkill, I believe this game was first, so. Basically your whole goal is just get better cards and win the game and just have fun. There's no scummy Roblox gambling. You can spend the in-game currency to get new cards more and more powerful, just by playing the game. I'm not really sure how that guy's using so many blocks. It might be a card or he might be hacking. Hopefully it is the first one. But basically, the only reason this game got here is because it's a really well-made game, no scummy Roblox gambling, and also it's just fun. So, I hope you enjoyed the video, but that's all the games I'm covering for now. Tell me if you want me to do a part 2, I can. I feel like I'm still not that good at editing though, so please give me a review if you can.